Namaste, ma'am.
Namaste,
Vani,
Praveen.
ma'am. Namaste. Welcome to Prana Stories.
Thank you, Praveen, for having me.
Many people don't know you by your, the original name, Vani Murthy, but they know you as Wormrani or Compost Rani or like a Earth Warrior. These are the different things I've heard from different people. When I say Vani Murthy, they say Vani Murthy. When I say these three kind of things, they say, yeah, I know. So that's how you're known on social media as Wormrani, Compost Rani, and stuff like that. So I'm so glad that we are here talking about sustainability, environment, and nature as such. So welcome once again to Prana Stories.
Thank you.
We, as India or Bharat, we were an indigenous culture, and not only just Bharat, but many indigenous cultures like South American culture or Australian culture or New Zealand or wherever that is, right? So all these indigenous cultures had nature as their core deities or gods or core value, because they thought they were just part of their nature, and they were looking around and they said, okay, we are just a part and everything is they're just one small part of it. And they used to pray to sun, to wind, to air, and various different cultures, right? And as we came along, those gods turned into human gods, right? And then humans became more, they thought they have more power on nature, and then it's sort of changed. So what else do you think? What do you think that, where did we lose all that? What do you think, like, and for example, even when it comes to our own Bharat, Sanatana Dharma itself means, one of the meaning is eternal sustainability. So that core sustainability word itself is there in our culture, and we seem to have losing it or probably lost it. So what do you think, what's going on?
Well, I think it's all as we evolve to become, more educated, more progressive, and with a lot of other influences, I think it's bound to happen. So it's like there is a disconnect that keeps happening constantly. And over a period of time, especially with nature, we have lost connection. So nobody really thinks about it. The very fact that we would look at those as the mighty forces which are letting life thrive on this planet, and we forget that. So I think it could be a mixture of many things that human evolves to become more and more away from what it was supposed to be, a part of nature. Praying for all these, as you mentioned, the natural things, and but that's the unfortunate part where that connect is gone, and we are moving away from what used to ground us. We are flying all over. So I think I wouldn't look at it very negatively, because I think that's how it happens. The evolving of human being is moving as time, however time is going ahead. So it'll be great to have all these elements in our lives. If we could reconnect, it would be still great. But the unfortunate part is most of us have moved away from it.
So do you think, I know that you don't want to talk, there is technology, but then the innate thing of human is the greed, being that the humans have to expand and have more luxuries and material. Is that the reason, or what else is the reason?
Well, I don't think they will think of it as greed, because it's such a competitive world. Everybody wants to do well. You educate yourself so that the education is so that you get a good job and you earn well, you have a house, you have luxuries, you can send your children for good schools and get them educated in great universities. So I think they don't even look at it as greed, because that's the kind of competition that is around. Every parent wants their children to study and do a professional course, not even letting them do what they innately are attracted to. It could be fine arts. Not many people would even encourage that. Very few. It could be yours, a hobby, but not as a career choice. So that's the unfortunate part. But if they realize it's greed that is taking them there, probably I don't even think, even if they realize, they'll think it is greed. That's how it works now. People who can afford, they want to have more and more. The lifestyle, that's the one that is very stark, that everyone wants to have this kind of lifestyle, that they feel that is success. Right? Success is often defined by the amount of money you have, or where you have reached in a career, or the kind of holidays that you take. So that's a completely different kind of definition that we can look at it. Is there happiness there? You're burning yourself up, working for somebody, and are you happy? So ultimately, according to me, if you're happy doing what you're doing and what you love doing, that's success. Ultimately, that's what you need. So yeah, I hope people realize that you don't have to be in the rat race to be happy and successful.
How do you balance so that I don't harm nature as much, but also have a sort of a happy and successful material life?
Yeah.
How do you find that balance?
So I think the balance will come only when you are aware. See, awareness is very crucial. Most of us go about our daily lives without being aware of many things. So when you look at the lifestyle today's, it is a lifestyle of convenience. Like everybody wants it so easy because it's rushed. There's so much of time constraint. Everybody is pushing themselves beyond. There's no time to slow down at all. It's kids, it's your work, and both husband and wife are working. You want to get jobs, you want to get promoted, you want to. So in that quest to reach somewhere, we are completely missing out that we become a part of a race that is generating humongous amounts, like you said, humongous amounts of waste, because it's convenient for us to use things that we quickly discard. And also with all the medium where televisions and advertisements keep tempting you to buy stuff that doesn't even stay for a short while. It's like very quickly it becomes waste. So it's like the fast fashion things that you buy with packaging. So constantly we are generating waste. So that lifestyle supports wastage. So and this is one planet which has limited resources, and we don't even think that we are using up all these resources. No, and also most of it is getting wasted. And where is it going? Is it really so? People are not seeing the connection between their lifestyle, and there is no connection to see what is the impact of their lifestyle. And that is the one which is that lack of education there. So I think that it's so important for people to slow down a little bit and think that there is this beautiful planet, our earth, which supports life, and if we keep damaging her, we are going to see consequences. And those consequences already we are seeing through climate change. So we are seeing such unbelievable heat and rains, the floods and the fires. Everything is happening like never before. It's always this is the record and all that. So people should start thinking about it. They should start thinking, what can I do? Because again, it is call for action for an individual to make changes so that he's not negatively impacting the environment around. Because this is not the environment only for us. Billions of species live on this planet, and this planet supports that life too. And we forget that we are damaging that, in our quest to become this superhuman race, which is like discovering things, and there's so much of we have the brain to do things. We can fly to any place. You can take a rocket and go and land anywhere. So that quest, we have forgot that lifestyle is damaging. So where are we keeping planet as this planet's ecosystem as a very important we need to nurture that.
Yeah.
So that's where I think awareness and education to everybody, because I always say, if you really want to be sustainable, go back a couple of generations, see how your grandparents lived.
Yeah.
You will get all the answers.
Right.
Maybe you'll have to start looking at that, those values, those principles with which they lived, and we can all bring that into our lives.
Yeah.
Being a little more minimalistic and aware of depleted resources. What are we leaving behind for future of this planet?
Yeah.
There are so many generations ahead of us that need to live and thrive on this planet. Are making it good for them, or it's not going to be good.
Yeah. So I would like to know, I'm sure it is like a organic walk towards that path, towards minimal sort of a living, sustainable living. I would like to know, the audience would like to know, where did this kind of change happen in you, in your life? Like where did you start seeing things which you couldn't unsee, that this is what is happening and I need to, maybe it's even it's a drop in the ocean, I will start doing this and start propagating this. Where did that change happen in your life?
Well, when I grew up in a very low middle class family, my dad with his mother, his wife, my mother, and 4 children, 4 girls. So we were always very minimalistic. It was my dad's only salary and everything was budgeted, and we would get clothes once a year and all that. So but we went through our education, and then I got married and came to Bangalore. And I'm a person who always stay at home. Like I would never venture out to do anything on my own. But then a time came that my kids were a little older, and I started exploring something outside home. Started going to meetings in the Resident Welfare Association, and then I realized that probably yes, there is something more than just staying at home. I could try to understand what makes these people so vibrant. They're doing so many projects and all that. So I met Dr. Meenakshi, and she slowly started seeing my hesitancy. She was very encouraging, and then we started doing projects, and I started enjoying it. A person who was always very wary of being on her own outside home, I started enjoying it, and I thought, yes, I can contribute, and there is something in me that awakened that I don't have to be feeling that I'm useless, I'm no good, and I'm not good enough. So there was something that I could. So in this journey that when I came out of home, that's where I found a calling, kind of it started helping me to feel good that you're doing things for the environment, for the society, because they were doing a lot of projects around keeping Malleshwaram clean and voter list clean up, so that people can come and have their names in the voter list. So all these things with Dr. Meenakshi also helped me a lot to understand that I can learn. And slowly we made a group of citizens who came together. They were from different parts of Bangalore, and all of them were very keen on making sure that we say no to landfill, because we together went and visited the Mavalipura landfill and understood that landfills are just dump yards. There's nothing scientific there, and people are just giving their mixed waste, and lorry loads come and dump. And we saw villages around which are actually growing our vegetables, our food, our fruits and vegetables there. And visiting opened my eye. I think that's like no turning back. Once going and seeing the landfill, understanding what our habits, how it impacts people in that area, how air, water and soil pollution happens because there's these mountains of garbage rotting there. So I think I learned a lot there, and I swore that I will not contribute to that mess. So that was a complete turnaround.
Wake up call.
Complete turnaround. Till then I was dabbling with things, not fully understanding, and that really gave me a sense of purpose. That this, if I could realize this, and if I say I will not send it there, what do I do with the waste I generate? So either I reduce the amount of waste, or if I don't generate anything that I can't manage. So waste management became very important in every citizen's home, is what we all started. We started doing campaigns. So with my team SWMRT, it was amazing because all of us we started becoming practitioners before we actually started talking about it, getting more and more people to start taking responsibility of the waste they generate. Segregation, we got in fact mandated. We went to the court and got it mandated for the city of Bangalore. So a lot of things happen. So it's like the journey, it's like never ending. And somewhere you just see that more and more you learn, and more you're aware, you're excited about passing on your practices to others. So social media became a very, very great tool, very powerful tool for me. Once I discovered that, there was no looking back, all the hesitancy about learning technology or looking up. No, I'm too old, I can't understand all this. My son once said, I asked him a question about what do I do, how do I do this. He said, Mom, figure it out yourself. I think that's the best way to learn. So I think I am on a journey, and there is still so much to learn and so much to give. And I feel very blessed actually, because I'm the happiest where I am today. Feeling good about the space that I've created around me, the friends that I've been with. And
What do you think, in a brief way, as a lifestyle? I'm sure everybody has got a different lifestyle in terms of wherever they are at. But in general, what do you suggest to people, that how they can change their lifestyle right from how their day begins, and what they consume, and how they can reduce their sort of contribution to the landfill? What do you think that can?
So basically, since we are in the space of managing waste that we generate, because every citizen, if they get conscious of it, that we are all generating waste, and the first part will be, even before you start looking at the landfill, consumption. That's like the bane of our society. Like, you want to buy the best, you want to buy, you're so bored with what you have, you keep buying. So it's like that consumption is the lifestyle that needs to be looked at. If we become conscious of it, we'll definitely minimize it, because it's all a waste. Because you lose interest in so many things that you already have. You seek for more. You have a phone, you want the next model. So there's today you can afford, so you are able to buy. But what is it leading to?
Where do you draw the line?
Where do you draw the line, and what is it leading to? Does it really make you happy? I'll tell you, the minute you start realizing that, when you start looking at your consumption, and then you say there is, it is having an impact, because there is a process of manufacture. It's, first of all, there are Earth's resources being used. It's a lot of energy to manufacture, then to process it, and then to transport it, and then it comes to you, and then used for a little time, and then you're discarding it for it to pollute. It's like, then what it goes to the landfill and it pollutes, because you have not even diverting it away from going to the landfill. So the first thing is, look at what you can reduce on a daily basis, because this is not like an Earth Day or an Environment Day that you pick up one activity and say, I did something for my environment, my ecosystem. It's not that. It's on a daily basis. How could we stop accepting single-use disposables? That should be your first way to start making that change. So for me, it's habits. It need not be like, many people say, I want to be zero waste. You can't. I'm a human being. I cannot be zero waste. Every other species on this planet is zero waste, except human beings, because those species don't generate anything that the earth can't digest. They are a part of the ecosystem. They're so naturally aligned to what the earth meant them to stay. So we are the ones who are generating. So if we could cut that consumption of unnecessary products, like carry your own bottle, so that you don't accept a plastic packaged bottle, so you are not generating that waste. So I stop accepting things that are quickly becoming trash. So that should be a first line of good habits that you bring into your family. Carry your own cloth bag, say no to anything that is used once and discarded, right?
Yeah.
That is the first line. That very quickly it becomes trash. Make your weddings, make your small pujas at home, everything where nothing goes out of your house. You have celebrated that little function at your home or did that little festival at home. After that festival, if you trash, you have not really celebrated the cause. The cause is the planet, which lets you live on this planet. It gives you water, air, and soil to grow your food. And if you can't, if you stop polluting it, then you will have a better world. But we are constantly polluting the air, the water, and the soil that grows our food. So this constant need to, live that opulent kind of lifestyle where you want to be, spend so much money on your big festivals and your weddings. I'm not judging people for doing that. Do it, but do it mindfully, where at the end of it you're celebrating the planet too, and you're not putting out anything. So that is where we need to go back. How, instead of using disposables, use reusables. That should be the mantra. And then secondly, you have to segregate your waste and connect to a destination based processing.
What does that mean?
So if you look at your waste, you do a kind of for all your audience, I'm just saying that you take a week's waste. What are you generating? So do kind of waste audit in your homes and see what you're generating. How much of it is recyclable? What is recyclable? Anything that is clean and dry, which is like your paper, plastic, metal, glass. If it's kept clean and if it reaches the right person, the people who are working in the waste, it's a huge sector that lives, their livelihood depends on the waste that we generate. You have seen waste pickers picking from dump yards so that they can earn their bread by selling that waste. So if we give clean waste, we're giving dignity to that section of society who depend on this waste for their livelihood. So clean waste diverted to a waste collection center, right? They are managed by these waste pickers, kabadi wala, raddi wala, anybody. So you collect them separately. There is, in Bangalore we have a segregation protocol where we say 3-way segregation. One is the wet waste, which comes from your kitchen or your garden, that is organic waste. The other will be your dry waste, which can be kept in a bag. You can hang the bag in a hook in your balcony and put all your dry clean waste. Like if there is a milk packet, you wash the milk packet, take that water into your tea or coffee, and then you dry it and put it in that bag. So you get a takeaway. You ordered a Swiggy. When you're washing other vessels, you just rinse that also. So that clean waste has value. If it has some food in it, then it stinks. By the time it reaches the person who are working in waste, there is no dignity there. When they open it, it is like, it's terrible for them to see that. And they don't have the time or energy to clean it and then send it. So lose out on good material that they could have sold for the recycler. So we need to do the segregation. And last category will be the red bin, where all your rejects go. So when we do this, and then if we could compost at home, because 60% is from the green bin, if organic waste, composting, if every house, har ghar compost karega, to 60% of the waste from the country will be completely gone, because it is a great resource. It's not even waste. Your kitchen waste is something that you've eaten, and the peels and other leftovers, they can be made into amazing soil. And compost is nothing but nutrients that the soil, which can be put in the soil, and the plants can readily take it. It's instant food for them, and this is something all of us can do. And even if you don't have space to grow, you can always go to a park and gift it away to friends, because it's such an amazing material, compost, that it lets life thrive in soil. And soil should be a living soil where food should be grown. Again, you start understanding how you make choices about your food. So composting is a great way to understand where your food comes from, what kind of food you're supposed to put in this temple. This is like, you have to put something that is nourishing, not every kind of rubbish. You were saying about fast food, about processed food. All those are damaging this little temple that needs to stay in its original self, nurtured well, so that your thoughts, your behavior, the way you interact with the world and stay close to nature will be at the highest. We evolve to be that kind of person. So basic things, when we take care about the waste that we generate, so we say we take the responsibility of the waste we generate by segregating it, composting it, sending it to the recycler in clean way, and very little is like 5% is reject, which can be handed over to the municipality and they can take. So where is the landfill? You're diverting things away, and there's no landfill that you need to send it to. So if this is a practice that has to go into every home, every human being should think that my waste is my responsibility, and I have to start doing things that does not pollute my beautiful planet. Methane is such a horrible greenhouse gas, and every time your organic waste goes into the landfill, it gets compacted, and there is anaerobic breakdown happening, and methane gets into the air. So we are contributing to the greenhouse gases, we are contributing to the climate change. So I think overall we need to fix that by taking responsibility and call for action within your home, your practices. You can still live a fantastic life. You don't have to cut down on anything. You can still live a good life, but mindful. Right. So the whole thing is bring mindfulness into you.
Correct. Yeah. The organization that you mentioned, that is MRT. What all does it do?
So basically, we try to do everything to help more and more people to come into a stage where they are practicing the right way to manage their waste. So it is a decentralized approach, because if it is centralized, no municipality can handle the humongous waste that we generate. So if we could break it down to getting every home to be conscious of what they generate, how much they generate, and how they are handling what they generate. So basically the whole goal is to get everybody to be a part of it, communities to come together. We do training, we bring out campaigns for awareness, because we are all practitioners. So each of us use different ways to communicate. We do workshops, in person, online, and training. A lot of municipalities come to us, ask for training. We work with the municipality to get, if there are, it is driven by citizens groups, because aware citizens groups, they want in their locality, in their societies, for people to have this protocol where they are very conscious of what goes out of their house and how it goes out of their house, and then holding the also responsibility of, because there's no enforcement. Many people say I segregate my waste, but they mix it. When after I give it, they mix it. Is a common trend you see, because enforcement is not there. But citizens can pull up the inspectors, and so where there is active citizen groups who are doing this, it's an amazing change that happens in the society, because then everybody wants to do something, because most people think it's too much. They give a lot of excuses for not doing, but all these are good practices. It's something that if you do, you feel good that somewhere you are contributing to keep this planet healthy. So basically, when you say I want a healthy body, you would not put rubbish into it, right? You would try to keep it in the optimum way it can function. Same way the planet, you cannot keep an unhealthy planet, because it won't support life. We'll have all problems. So I think that's the one we are targeting at, the where we are getting. So we also look at completing the whole. So we've got out a campaign called Swachagraha, where we say once you start composting at home, because we do a lot of workshops on composting, YouTube videos, we online social media is so amazing, because you can reach out to many more people, and we make sure that they in Swachagraha, the campaign, we said once you compost at home, the next step is to grow something. You even if the smallest balconies, you can grow some herbs. Get your children involved in a small project where you say, we have composted, now let's grow something. Let the children learn how food is grown.
Yeah.
Put a tomato plant, a capsicum plant, or something, learn. Through experience, you have to learn. So that's what we encourage, because again, how much ever you read, how much ever you watch videos, how much ever I train you, unless you take action and do that, start composting, you'll never learn composting. It is an experiential learning, like everything else in life. You have to experience it to understand it.
Yeah.
So we say go through that. People immediately they put shutters down. Oh no, it'll be stinking. There'll be bugs and creepy crawlies.
Yeah.
No, they have all sorts of excuses. In today's world, you're so afraid to take on something because you're so stressed. Today's mental health problems are there. Everybody is like anger issues. Nobody, they're dealing with too many things. So it's so valid when people don't want to enter this space, because there is something that you have to do.
Yeah.
You'll have to put practices in. They have no mind space for that.
Yeah.
So that's the unfortunate part, why we don't have a magic wand where we can just tell everybody can become eco-conscious.
Yeah.
Now eco-anxiety has come because they're not able to do what they think they should be doing, and that becomes anxiety for people. If someone in your house is not practicing what you think is important, you start judging them and they are not doing, and you become anxiety about it. So I feel it is individual practice. Absolutely. Like any other spiritual practice, this is an individual practice which stays with you, and that aura has to move to others.
Yeah.
It's not like finding fault with the other person and telling him he is doing wrong and I am doing right. So you're standing in a space of judgment which just takes your power away. So for you to be very impactful, that's what SWMRT stands for. That we are here to make sure that you understand, learn in any which way we want to spread the word.
Yeah.
And amazing group of mostly women. We have few good men, but an amazing team who are, they just give their time and their knowledge, share their knowledge. Yeah.
So in terms of our Indian knowledge systems reading, there is a concept called Swadhyaya, which is like self-study, right? And that's what I think you are also pointing at, that it's an individual practice.
Yes.
And I mean, rather than thinking very high of saving the planet and all that stuff, if people start thinking for their own health, let's say for their own children's health, for their own children's mental health, because these days mental health is the biggest issue.
Absolutely.
And that is also happening because of lots of things what we eat, because you are what you eat, right? And from where is it coming from? What if you go to that source, you will understand, okay, I understand what I'm putting inside my body. So it all boils down to that.
True.
So if that kind of a self practice is practiced by everyone, then it will automatically sort of come into the community. Another question that I wanted to ask is that, since you also spoke that there are recycling people who do specific recycling things. Now there is this reliance on this recycling thing, that okay, when somebody is buying a plastic bottle of water, when you tell them that why are you buying plastic bottle of water, अरे ये तो recycle हो जाएगा, आजकल तो रास्ते भी बन रहे, there are roads that are happening because of plastic roads, even clothes are happening because of it's getting recycled, and clothes are also getting made. So he's like casual about it and saying this will get recycled. What do you have to say about that?
The thing is, that shouldn't be your target, that it's okay for me to use because it can get recycled. Of course, it supports livelihood opportunities for people who are in that sector. But the thing is, one should understand that, as I told you, that it's Earth's resources. Like you pump petrol to make plastic, right? Natural resource. And then that is, chemicals are put. There's effort, energy, everything put. To make one plastic bottle, you need double the quantity of water. So you're using so much of resource to make something that is used once, and if it reaches a recycler, if it reaches a waste picker, who would then sell it to a recycler? So that is missing. When you see oceans, they throw up so much of plastic, bottles. You go to any beautiful countryside, you have plastic bottles.
Yeah.
So all of them don't reach. So that's not an excuse for you to use it. If you become mindful that this is a resource, it's not infinite.
Yeah.
Resources are limited. This
Yeah.
earth has only that much
Correct.
for you to offer. If we don't know how many generations only it will be there. We are depleting it so badly. We're not mindful of that. And next, you're depleting and it's causing pollution. So it's a double whammy there.
Yeah.
And so we need to have practices which is reuse. Anything reuse is the best way. So if you have a wedding, you, instead of giving bottled water to everybody, you, like before, have a steel tumbler and pour water.
Yeah.
Buy good quality water in big, large, bottles, and then pour, so that you're not generating this miniature 100 ml bottles. So I think reuse has to be, steel tumblers can be washed again and reused. So that's what we need. The mantra has to be for us to become very mindful in our lives. The mantra has to be reuse. Why do you pull a tissue when you can have a small cloth napkin with you?
Yeah.
So you just need to keep thinking about it. So you have to cut down trees to bring that pulp to bleach that white into white. So chemicals are being used. So you see the process itself of using natural materials to make a product. It scares you, because this is the kind of energy that's going for anything that is used once and discarded.
Yeah.
So that's where, see how many people are willing to listen to this.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you sensitize people about this is what we are doing? We are depleting the resources and we are polluting this beautiful planet. So and each of us come there. Each of us are guilty of that.
Yeah.
So that is where the mindful practice comes. And people like us in my team, our mission is to create that awareness, one person at a time. It's not like we can do a great job, but a few people can make a big difference. I believe I can make a difference, and that's what is helping me move on in this journey. And always be enthusiastic about talking about what my practices are and what other person can do.
In terms of recycling, let's take an example of plastic bottles, right? Water bottles. That's what I've seen everywhere, wherever, when you go on a trip to or travel to somewhere in a mountain, or everywhere you see plastic bottles. So if 100 bottles are produced, let's say one bottle gets recycled. Is that kind of?
I don't have any statistics. Yeah, but if it reaches the recycler, it has to reach it has to reach a center where they aggregate and send it to a recycler. Recycler will not take one bottle, right? So it needs to reach a center where waste pickers go and aggregate it. They bail it. If less than 1 ton, he won't come and pick up. So if it has to go to recycling, there is a path. It is destination that it has to get into, that path of destination. Then there is some meaning there, that you also get someone to have a livelihood opportunity.
Right.
And but the thing is, again, you turn it into something else, and then again that will become waste. At the end, you can't recycle that. It may go through, maybe downcycling, it will happen, but ultimately it will end up on this planet,
right,
somewhere,
right,
in some form.
That's
what we need to be mindful.
So why create it in the first place, as you're saying? Right, correct. Yeah, I mean, even with tissue papers also, right? That because it is paper, people generally have that feeling. I mean, this happened to not only I'm not saying about other people.
It's become part of the earth.
Exactly. Yeah. So it is biodegradable.
It's okay to use.
It is okay to use. That's what the general attitude of people is.
Like I say, in kitchens they have the tissue roll. They keep pulling it to clean their. In days like in our, what we look at is some old t-shirt is torn, good cotton one which absorbs water. We use to clean the stove or wipe things and all. So we need to use things again and again till it's completely end of life for it. But why use something that is fresh, even though if it is like it is biodegradable? So because energy is being used to make that tissue, it comes in packaging, you buy it off the market paying money. An old leftover bunion or something like that is so good. You can make small pieces and use it. So again I said reuse has to be the mantra.
Correct. Yeah, that's
As
what
far as possible.
I mean, I mentioned if you just go back 100 and 200 years ago,
Yeah.
this is exactly what
They
we
never
were doing.
generated anything because all these was not there.
Yeah.
Plastic and other disposables were not there.
Yeah. That's,
Oh, we were
that's
so much better for the earth.
correct. I mean, it's a complete, what do you call, it's a lifestyle change that is required.
Absolutely,
And in
absolutely.
the lifestyle change, which means it's a habit building thing. So these days people do a lot of even courses for habit building, you know, to wake up early in the morning. They have a habit building course for it. To do, I mean, for definitely for yoga and for their health,
Yeah.
they have all these habit building things, which, you know, they take up that course and actually do it.
Yeah.
Let's say for 21 days and
Yeah.
the continuously streak that they do.
Right, till it becomes a part of their life.
Exactly. So something like that is what we should be doing to integrate this culture of consciousness,
Yeah.
and that too especially eco-consciousness.
Right.
And that consciousness will actually lead you to better bodily health,
Yeah.
as well as mental health.
Right.
Is what people will have to realize that, right?
Yeah. Because most people say, if I change, it's not going to make a difference.
Yeah, the people
You know,
say,
with that attitude, nothing will happen.
yeah,
So if you say, yes, my change is going to contribute, even if it is like you said, a drop in the ocean,
yeah,
it's going to contribute for a better planet, you know. So that I think that mindset should be there for people.
and also the complaints that you rightly said, that even if I separate waste and give it to my rack
Yeah.
picker, I have seen him, he will just dump everything in one tempo,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then he takes it there, and we see it in the same
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
I mean, it's a problem with the municipality also,
Yeah.
the way the rack pickers themselves collect the waste.
Right.
So I don't know where is the solution for the authorities which do that.
Yeah.
But at least, like you said, if we reduce the wastage that goes to the municipality, we are already solving the problem there.
Yeah.
Right. So again, it again, it's our responsibility to reduce. Like you said, 5% is what I give it to the municipality.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that is where people will have
We
to.
should reach there.
We should reach
because
there,
we
right?
invert the pyramid.
Yeah.
Like 90% of the waste was going to the landfill. And when you invert it, only like 5% will go.
Yeah.
Because on the top of the pyramid is, you know, the smallest portion is the waste that we can't manage.
Yeah.
Every other waste is something we can manage.
Right.
Diverting it to destinations, composting it, or sending it to community composting, or whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it all boils down to the culture. I mean, like I said, the indigenous culture, or the culture of habits that we had. That sustainability culture was already there. So one of the reasons why I started Prana Stories is to inculcate that original thought that is there in our culture, right? It's, I mean, these days what you find is that culture is something which is kept in a museum, and then people take it out during festivals when it is Diwali or any other festivals that comes, right? Then they say, oh, okay, today is our culture, and then they dress up like that, and then they just showcase, and they put it on social media, and they say, oh, okay, this is our culture, and then again they are back to the normal life. So there is no integration of the original thought that is there, why that festival is there, what is the thing that is required, right?
Thing is, we've moved away from being now it's all nucleus families, you know, and you're not living in your village or in your town where everybody has the same practice. So a lot of integration happens, you know. So I wouldn't even blame people for that. At least they're holding on to something. At least they're starting a festival. I myself am not temple going. I'll go to a temple, but not like I have to go on a Tuesday or a Friday and all that. So it's not, I will not say I'm not a part of the culture. So for me, if I do something for my environment, that is my biggest prayer. Because I'm so thankful for the Mother Earth for giving me this life on this planet. I just show my gratitude by not hurting her anymore. So I think each of us can bring our own spirituality into our practices, it need not be what is like the regular way. This is the way, that is the way. We adapt it in the times as we are moving away from so many things. Those days, joint families, they had everything intact because it was the dictum, and elders would say, do this, do that, and this is how you have to dress. So it was, but now we've moved away from that, and it's okay because we can't really feel that people are moving away. It's bound to happen. According to me, it's bound to happen, and that's okay. As long as we accept it, it's their choice. Finally, it comes to an individual choice now, whether they want to stay. If my children don't believe in certain things that I have been told, I'm fine with that. I will never push them to believe what I believe, because times are different, their thought process are different, what they are exposed to is very different. In today's world, there's so much exposure to so many other things, so it's perfectly fine according to me.
So I mean, what I meant was that the core value of, your practices can be many different, but the core value of the culture is, I am in awe of this nature which is around me. It is so amazing. And all the exactly all the rituals and the festivals came in gratitude towards that, right? Whatever you are, let's say, even if you are offering water, it's water, I'm getting from nature and I'm giving back to nature, thinking that I'm so thankful,
right.
So that core value is something which, if people inculcate, that is the sort of culture that we need to, that is actually the meaning of going back to roots. Don't you think so?
Absolutely
right. How does one get in touch with your organization and be part of it and get associated, or at least get influenced by the training? How does one get into that?
So there are different ways we encourage people to start in there, because this, again, as I said, our whole culture is decentralized. So it's not like there's one body and everybody be a part of it. You can have your own SWMRT in your own towns, in your cities, in wherever you come. So it has to be a group of citizens who stay there, who come together and make sure that they create this kind of value, in their society, in their community. A prime example is HSR layout, where you see how the citizens came together. They not just got every household to segregate waste, they made sure they have the municipality which will be picking up different days, different ways, so that it does not get mixed up, so that, and all go to destination. Everything is going to destination where it belongs, because one truck can't go to all the destinations, because destinations are different. Dry waste goes differently, wet waste goes differently, medical and reject waste goes differently. So
this all happens in HSR.
And they also have set up a learning center. We call it I call it my temple. If I visit there, it's like I've visited 100 temples. Because it's a temple of learning. We call Swachhagraha Kalika Kendra. So Swachhagraha is our campaign where we are looking at closing the loop, where we say any organic matter that we generate has to go back to where it belongs. It belongs to the soil. Because the soil has to be a living soil. Unless it has organic matter, there won't be life there. For life to survive in the soil, because there's more life underneath our feet than above. So if life has to survive there, we need to give that vital organic back. Why are we sending it to the into the landfill and it's getting rotten there? So it has to go back to where it belongs, that is the soil. So to build soil, you need to compost, you need to put it back, and once you get that amazing soil, then you grow your food. That food has all the nutrients that it has absorbed from this amazing network of microbes and other things, that converting them into this amazing nutrients, and then the cycle is maintained. Then we use that, we pluck those vegetables and we eat those vegetables. It is nutrient dense, and that's what we're putting in our body. We are nurturing our body, and again, whatever leftover going back. So I think we showcase that in Swachhagraha Kalika Kendra. We get tons of people coming there to learn. Municipalities from all over India come there to understand, and every model of a home composter or a community composter is put there, or lane composters where all the dry leaves that fall. See, the earth is constantly giving you resources for you to use and not waste. So if dry leaves fall, it's falling for a reason. That's amazing brown matter that needs to go back in the soil. It's a part of the soil building. But what we do, we sweep it away. We are all wanted manicured lawns and manicured gardens. We sweep it, burn it, creating toxicity again, and we lost resources. So if we could hold back, so in HSR Loud, every park has tanks where they bring all the dry leaves and put it there, and they sprinkle some cow dung, and then that gets into become great manure, good mulch, which can be used in that park, or people can come and take it away to use in their gardens. So we have to close the loop everywhere. What we're doing is we're breaking it and creating this pollution. So all the amazing resources that the earth is giving us, we need to put it back to where it belongs. So that we have regenerative practices, not polluting practices. So that difference, if people know, so they come and visit they learn so much. There's an amazing set of volunteers who come, Dr. Shanti Tumala, who given up her dental practice to get into full time, get into citizens movement, where you're constantly helping people to learn, and so there is a community garden there which grows the food that and every day 600 kgs of waste from around the park comes into that park, where they are all converting it to compost and growing some food. So there's a community garden there which is growing fruits and vegetables and greens. So you have so much vermicompost bins. So you see the entire demo of everything like that, and it's a great space for people to learn.
How do the expenses get taken care? Do you contribute to that?
So we do have people who are contributing. We ourselves raise money through workshops and other things to get some money. So it's basically very tough to raise money. But people come. It's free. People can come to workshops and learn. And we have different programs there. And so, as you said, SWMRT can be created anywhere.
So residents associations can learn
just
from
come together. It's just like one person can't do anything. So it's so important for you to be a group of people who take different responsibilities. For us, it's so linear, our organization, where we are not like there's a boss and tells you what to do. Each of us have our strengths. If I am using social media, in fact, to the best I can, like squeezing everything out of it to create this awareness, that's my strong point. So there are people who train, who are amazing, who take out their own precious time to come there and train. So we have very dedicated people. So we need groups of people who are so aware, who are good practitioners, who are not just talking out of a book. So when they come together, the energy is completely different, and you make a difference. You are making the changes. You are getting the earth to say, we are there. We are warriors who want to protect you.
Correct.
You're not a warrior to go and war against, but a warrior who stands in protection of the Mother Earth. So that's how you create people.
And of course, like-minded people have to come together for that. Because
the cause is always good for people to come together. Any cause, like in spirituality, you have a bhajan group where people come together because it's like-minded people who are attracted to that particular thing. So it will happen. So your intention should be very clear. You should be very person who enjoys sharing that experience that you have. And when your eye lights up, there is somebody who will pick it up very quickly.
Correct. Kudos to people of HSR who have come together, who are doing such a wonderful job. I mean, I know that you stay in Malleshwaram, but how is the thing around Malleshwaram?
There are a lot of groups who are doing. So,
but not as successful as HSR?
I wouldn't compare. Each has a kind of energy. So whatever is being done, yes, there are a lot of champions in Malleshwaram also. All over Bangalore, here and there. So
nice.
But HSR is like the prime example I can give.
Because I think it's a fairly new area. And they can do much more.
The Citizens Forum there. Amazing people there. So they take their time off, come volunteer. The busload of school children are coming. One of them, they'll have a group. They'll say, I'm not available. Who is going? And they split their time.
Nice.
people volunteer to say, I will go there, I will go and explain everything.
Because it's a constant work.
Yeah, constant.
Constant
We have
work.
training sessions, my colleague Vasuki, he comes and does. There are like lot of, we have employed few young boys, and they are so enthusiastic. They start making reels on Instagram to make it fun, to teach everything in the fun way. So the concept is sustainability, but how you're going to present it or show it makes a difference in today's world, where people love social media. They want, it's like instant Instagram, instant, they want something.
Correct.
So put your whatever your practices through that.
Wow, so much. So we'll end the podcast, but as a parting shot, somebody who's asking what's in it for me to take up something like this, what will be your a takeaway from this?
You never seek the end. You never know what is there for you. All you need to is get into the path. Of any path, you have to experience that. Once you get into it, it just pulls you into it. And what I got, I can say. I can't say what you will get. I think this is the best journey I have ever been on. I'm the most happiest. It has broadened in every way. I am seeing more than I would have ever seen, being at home. So there are so many things that have changed for me, which makes me happy. I would call this is the space that has given me a realization of who I am.
Right.
My strengths.
The purpose.
The purpose was there. I didn't know. I didn't seek the purpose. The purpose came to me. And who I am today, a strong person who is very clear about her needs. I know when to slow down. I want to be a person who is always being positive around others. So a lot of things about me. So I can only say that. So we should always, when we try, we have to come onto a path, and that will lead you to what your ultimate purpose is.
Right.
So never ever look for something that I want this, I want to plan this. Maybe it'll be very transient. It may not be the ultimate, goal. Goal is not set by me. There is a goal there, but I have to get onto the path to reach that goal. And the path comes when you open yourself up to it. When we put blinkers, we don't see the path. We are always clouded by so many no's and negativities that we won't see a clear path. But once we get into a practice, it starts opening up for us.
Yes.
So that's my spirituality.
So spirituality through
only this way.
Right? Through community service.
I don't seek anything else.
Spirituality through waste management. That
could
be
it's my ode to my Mother Earth. That's my spirituality.
Correct.
That I constantly keep her in my mind. When in my terrace garden, it is like I have nature in so close to me. I have bees, butterflies, they all thrive. I don't spray anything in it's like a jungle. I don't want to hurt any creature, just pests. I have to spray something to kill this pest. No, I'll be killing even the good bugs. So let them manage. So it's like trust. I trust you, plant. You have your strengths. You will do well.
Surrender.
That's it. So my spirituality is only this. I've never read books. I've never read mantras. I've never ever had a guru or follow somebody. I have found this in my own way, and I think this is what
nature itself is your
this
divine.
Makes me happy. Makes me content. I meet people, great, amazing people I meet in my journey, which just makes it all worth.
That's so amazing, ma'am. That's like, I mean, we do have a lot of topics on spirituality on our channel, and there are so many gurus and experts who come and talk about different mantras and all that, but here is a simple person like you who used to be a housewife and then still is a housewife, but the way your life has turned out to be and the way you contribute to your own spirituality and the community spirituality, I think it's a great thing to do, and I think people who are inclined towards this should definitely sort of follow you and take this up.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for doing it.
Thank you, Praveen.
Thank you from the community itself that people like you exist, and to scores of people who are doing this kind of job.
Thank you.
Thank you so
that
much
feels
for
so too much of responsibility. Yeah, but yes,
I mean,
I'm glad to be where I am today.
Right.
And whatever people's feel and do, it's like a blessing for me.
Yeah, I mean, I can see the happiness, and it just comes through. It glows, right? Whatever you are, that sense of purpose, when you do that, the happiness then automatically comes out.
Yeah.
So that's what I think people can take away from this.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you
just
so
strengthens who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Praveen.